He is the co-author of Job Creation, How It Really Works and Why Government Doesn't Understand It. He wrote The Capitalist Comeback, The Trump Boom, and the Left's Plot to Stop It. His current book, A Tyranny for the Good of Its Victims. He is a former CEO of CKE Restaurants, which helped turn Hardee's and Carl's into global powerhouses. I believe he moved them from California to Tennessee or to Texas. Please welcome back to the program, Andy Puzder. Andy, did you move them from here to Tennessee or here to Texas?
I moved them from Santa Barbara County, so a beautiful place in California,
right,
to Nashville, because actually our good friend Dr. Art Laffer convinced me that Tennessee was the place to move to, so here we moved.
So you did it well before other people did.
Yeah, my buddies in California are now calling me the canary in the coal mine. This was the warning, the bad times were coming.
Andy, I think it was last year on April the 1st, the $20 minimum wage for fast food workers went into effect. And when Gavin Newsom signed it months earlier, that very same day, Pizza Hut laid off 1,200 drivers. And according to the UCLA economics professor Leo Hanian, since that bill was signed, 10,500 fast food workers have lost their jobs. Not a single one of these Democrat politicians that voted for it, nor, of course, Gavin Newsom, have said, wow, maybe we shouldn't have done this.
All those young Americans missing out on the opportunity to get on the ladder of success. I started out working at a Baskin-Robbins. I think if you went to the C-suite in just about any corporation and asked the people where they got their start, I'll bet a good percentage of every corporation would tell you they started at a McDonald's or a Wendy's or a Burger King or a Carl's or a Hardee's, one of these fast food chains that really give you a great work experience. They really help you get on that ladder of success. But when you price these people out of jobs, when you literally kill the jobs that the people you're trying to help could get, I mean, how on earth is that helping the people you claim you're trying to help? This is it's a bad policy. It was a terrible, terrible move for California. It's another on top of many other terrible moves, and we're seeing the results.
Wow. And, the assumption is that the average fast food franchisor has a yacht, a villa somewhere in France, when in fact the average franchise owner owns one, busts his butt, is hands-on, shows off, works more than a 40-hour week.
Yeah, most of these franchisees are guys or gals who started out working at a Carl's Jr. or a Hardee's. Most of ours, they started either, cleaning the restrooms and cleaning the drink counters and frying the fries and making the burgers. And over a period of years, they become very familiar with the business. It's a business they understand. Many of them are immigrants. Many of them don't have high school educations, let alone college educations. But they get into the workforce, they learn about a business, and then they go and they open their own business, and they're generally very successful. So, but they aren't successful enough to, have a home in France or drive around in a Mercedes. But they make a good living, and they do very well at it, and they're entrepreneurs. You get that great personal satisfaction from making your own success. And I was always happy that to see our employees move on to be franchisees, or even just to see them move up from people that came in and were doing basic cleanup and doing basic restaurant chores, and then they go on to be managers or general managers or regional managers making very good livings. It's a very good industry for working class kids like me, and it's terrible that they're pricing people out of these jobs. It's just terrible.
Let's talk about the economy that Trump is inheriting. Inflation hit a 5-month high in December. Third straight month of rising food and energy costs.
Yeah, inflation is beginning to pick up again, and it's really not a very, very big surprise that it's doing so. The Fed should not have been cutting interest rates. I think they cut them before the election for whatever reason, and it wasn't a good reason. You hear the Democrats talk a lot, and the president talk a lot about how inflation's under control. Inflation's going down. And I'm sure many of your viewers hear that inflation's going down, and then they go to the grocery store and eggs and milk are more expensive, or the gas station and gas is more expensive, and they notice that interest rates on home loans are going up. Well, that's because while the rate of inflation is no longer increasing at 9%, Increasing at 2.9% is still an increase. In other words, inflation is not decreasing, it's increasing at 2.9%. It's a lower rate of increase, but it's still an increase. So we've seen, under President Biden to date, we've seen inflation increase 21.7%. For a comparable number during President Trump's 4 years in office, inflation increased 7.3%. The Fed likes to see it increase about 2% a year. Under President Trump, it increased less than that. Under President Biden, it's increased significantly more than that. And because of that, wages, real wages, not just the number on your paycheck, but what that paycheck is worth, increased about 7.7% during Trump's 4 years, and it's decreased about 1.5% in Biden's 4 years. Look, you add on top of all of that the terrific debt that Biden built up. Right. These $2 trillion deficits. We're now spending 121% of GDP. That's what our debt is equal to 121% of GDP. That's really what it was during World War II. We're spending money like we're fighting a world war, and we're really not fighting a world war, at least not yet. So the situation with the economy, it's a dumpster fire. I said that in a Fox News article a couple of weeks ago, and it's true today as it was then.
We have about a minute and a half left. Give me 30 seconds or so on people that believe that the Trump tariffs will increase inflation, and then spend the rest of the time talking about your latest book, A Tyranny for the Good of Its Victims.
Well, there were a bunch of tariffs against China during Trump's first term, and look where inflation was. It didn't go anywhere. So I don't think that the evidence is indicating that the kind of tariffs that Trump's talking about are going to cause inflation to go up. We also see when the price of one thing goes up, the price of something else may not go up, but people won't have as much money to spend on the thing that didn't go up in price if they buy the thing that did go up in price. So you're going to have kind of an offset. You're really not going to see a lot of inflation from the tariffs. The book is called The Tyranny for the Good of Its Victims, The Ugly Truth About Stakeholder Capitalism. The ugly truth about stakeholder capitalism is that it isn't capitalism at all. It's a collectivist ideology intended to empower a group of financial elites to impose their social and political agenda on us, all in the name of protecting us because they don't trust us. They don't trust us to make decisions for ourselves, our nation, or our planet. I hope people read it. Larry, I hope you read it. I'll send you a copy. I think it'll be very revealing for you.
Is it okay if I wait for the movie? No, I'd love to have it. A Tyranny for the Good of Its Victims.
you can star in the movie, man.
By my friend Andy Puzder. Andy, as always, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it. God bless.
Thanks, sir. Good to be here.